everyone, it's Hailey, and today is Bookmas Day 30, so I'm going to be doing an end of the year Q&A. Couple things. So one, I'm filming this when like the sun has basically already set. It's 4:30, but it's kind of dark-ish. But to stay on schedule and have one more day of filming, I just need to do one more video today, but I got a later start because I slept in. So we're just gonna have some kind of weird like lighting in this video, but it's fine because it's just casual. So we're just here to chat. The second thing is that today's video was actually going to be a 2022 anti-TBR, but I was trying to plan it and I couldn't find that many books that I just don't want to read, because there are things that I'm like, oh, I probably won't read it, but it just felt so final to say like, no, I'm never gonna read it. So that's why I decided to do this video instead, which I think is also kind of like ending the year on a little bit more of a positive note. So I hope that's okay with you guys. I really sat there and tried to plan it and I couldn't really think of anything. But you know the drill. As usual, you can click the subscribe button and click the bell icon if you want to be notified whenever I post. Although Bookmas is almost over, I will still be posting 3 videos a week for the rest of the year and the rest of my life. But I did ask you guys for questions today, for end of the year questions, just like a few hours ago. So let's get to it. The first question is, how has writing been going? That's an excellent question. I'm not gonna lie and say that it's been going great, because like it hasn't. I did at the beginning of November, I started doing NaNoWriMo, but I just felt like I wasn't prepared. I felt like I had so much else going on. And if I were trying to do it, like I would still be doing NaNoWriMo now. I just think November is a terrible month for NaNoWriMo. So I think I might try and do it later in the year and just do my own thing with it. But I also think that I kind of want to work on my craft a little bit more, just because being on submission and just receiving rejections really has like affected my belief in myself. And it's just like, I know it happens to everyone, but it just has like sucked and kind of sucked the life out of me a little bit. So because of that, I've had trouble writing again. And I think maybe like reading a few books on craft might make me feel a little bit better, because I do believe in the story that I want to write. But on the other hand, I also believed in my other book, and like I really loved it and wanted it to get out there, and I know I could self-publish, but like I really would like to try the traditional route. But right now I'm just facing like a lot of mental blocks in terms of writing. So one of my big goals for 2022 is to include it in my schedule and make sure that I'm like making the time for it, I guess, and not like having a bunch of excuses. And like I feel like right now I'm like letting my younger self down, because I distinctly remember when I decided I loved writing and I wanted to be an author, and I was in grade 4, and now I just am like, it makes me so sad. I'm like picturing younger me just like being here and having the chance, and I feel like I'm just messing it up. So I would like to try and take the necessary steps toward writing in the new year. Okay, this question kind of just makes me laugh. How do your finances look like, and how do you feel financially calm when self-employed? I don't. Okay, I never wanted to do YouTube and be self-employed as my only job, because that's really scary. And especially like having a house now, it's really scary. So it's like anything can change, like things could be horrible. I literally have constant financial anxiety, and I'm terrible with finances too. I'm just absolutely horrible at it, because the second people start talking about money, like my brain shuts off. Numbers, all of that. I'm terrible at math, so my brain literally just like doesn't compute anything. But that's partially why, like the reason that I quit my other job was because I was taking a chance, and I knew it was a chance, and I always had like a plan B. It's just kind of COVID happened. So I used to work at a bookstore, which I also didn't want to do forever. But since I had a stable enough income from being a content creator or whatever, from doing YouTube, I wanted to take the time to focus on writing, because I knew I was going to be going on submission, and obviously that's not guaranteed, like I know that now. But I just wanted to see like if I could really take the chance to do that, and then if I could like support myself with YouTube but also spend my time writing, that would be amazing. I also had like, oh, I can go back to the bookstore if I want to, but then we moved and now I can't actually like work anywhere here because I don't speak French. So I have been trying to find remote jobs, not even just for the financial security of it, but also for the fact that I'm like lonely and by myself all the time. to be able to collaborate with other people is something that I really want. So that's another thing that I'm going to be focusing on. Looking forward to 2022 is really trying to find a job and find something that suits me so I won't feel so lost. What is your Goodreads goal going to be for 2022? So I'll talk about this a little bit more tomorrow in my like end of the year TBR and resolutions and everything, but I am going to try for 100 books again. I kind of do that every year. I don't know if I'll make it, but we'll see. I'm gonna, like, it doesn't hurt to try. Hopefully I can get off to a really great start to the year like I did last year, which helped me out a lot. Will you stay in Quebec for the long run, or you might move again in the next few years? So the plan is that like we're here and this is where we're going to live and settle. And like I can see myself, like right now I wouldn't say that I love it here just because I'm having such a hard time with the language barrier, but I could definitely see myself really liking it here. That being said, I haven't been through a winter yet. We've only had 2 snowfalls, so we'll see. And I know like I'm Canadian, but also I'm from the southernmost point in Canada. The snow and the temperature here is very different than what I'm used to, but I can see myself enjoying it here. Like I love the fact that like when I'm going somewhere, I can actually see mountains because I'm from such a flat place, and it's not the biggest mountain, but like I just love mountains. So it makes me happy that there's like natural beauty and everything. Like I can see myself really enjoying it here. There's so much more to do, and I can see it happening and us like settling here, because really I hated moving. So once we're in one place, I want to settle. I'm not the kind of person who wants to go like this place and that place and like explore the world. I like to go on vacations and explore the world that way, but I would like to stay here for now. It makes me sad to be away from my family, obviously, but it's like good that I can still visit from here. It's still accessible. It's a 10-hour drive, but it's still relatively accessible. Favorite new thing that you've discovered this year? I would say that my favorite new thing that I've discovered this year is I really discovered a love for the gym and exercising and weightlifting in particular. I have like really transformed the way that I treat myself in that way, because last year I went to the gym a lot, was when I kind of started to go to the gym quite a bit, but it was hard because like it kept on closing and everything with COVID. But now like I feel like I go to the gym and I actually like feel better having gone, because before people are like, oh yeah, endorphins, but I'm like, no, I feel like crap after I go to the gym. But that's because like I didn't really know what I was doing and I was kind of pushing myself too hard. So now I've found like a happy medium and have made a schedule that works for me, and also I'm like nourishing my body properly. I feel like another thing that's really changed for me is my outlook on food in general, because I think I used to have like not so healthy ways, but now like I've really changed that, which has been very nice. I don't know if that's like a weird thing to have discovered this year, but I've just discovered that like I like going to the gym. Like I will be like, oh, I want, like today, for example, is a Saturday, so it's a rest day, but like I want to go to the gym, and that was just unheard of before. But it's been so nice because I've really discovered like my strength. I've discovered that I'm so much stronger than I ever thought, because when the gym started closing last year, I was like just kind of starting to push the weight a little bit, because I would go to the gym and I would just kind of do the same weight that I always did. I never tried to do more. I never tried to like progressive overload. But now I've discovered that I really have the ability to lift so many heavy things, and a lot heavier than I thought. Like I can squat 150 pounds. I can do leg press 320 pounds. Like I'm strong, and that makes me really happy. I have gotten my bicep curls up to 50 pounds. Like it's so nice to know those things, and I feel like I can hold my own, and I know I'm like not just going through the motions. I'm like paying attention to my form and stuff like that, and constantly trying to improve. So I found like a desire to constantly improve upon myself through going to the gym, which has been really enjoyable, and I like it a lot, which is kind of why I started my weekly wellness series, which has taken a break through December, but I'm definitely going to be bringing back in January, because I really like doing it for myself. Even if you guys like don't like watching it, that's fine. I really enjoy doing it. Do you think next year will be any calmer than this one? Yes and no. So next year is going to be very, very busy, because my sister is getting married and I'm standing up in the wedding. I'm the maid of honor with my other sister. So there's going to be like bridal shower, bachelorette party, like going home for the actual wedding. It's going to be quite busy in that way, but I think it'll be a little bit calmer in terms of like I'm not going to be moving for months at a time and I'll actually be settled in one place. It's just going to be a lot of like going to visit Windsor a lot, and I'm excited for it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna get to see my family so much more, which is lovely, but at the same time, it's gonna be very expensive and stuff. I have like a dead pixel. It's on my viewfinder, so you guys can't see it, but it's right on my forehead, so I keep on thinking that there's something like a sparkle or whatever on my head. It's very irritating. Anyways, what is one non-bookish goal you have for 2022? That's a really good question. I don't want to keep it like just to the gym, because obviously I have gym goals. I think I want to try and find something new that I love, like find a new hobby that I love. I want to try new things, because when I'm asked like, what do you like to do? I'm like I feel like I don't know, because all of my hobbies I've kind of turned into work. Like, I would say I love reading and writing, but that's also work, and I do still love it, but it's work. So, you know, so I think I would like to try and find one new like creative hobby for me to enjoy. And I would also like to learn French, obviously, but that's not gonna happen in a year, so. Oh well. What's one book you don't ever want to read? So since this was supposed to be an anti-TBR video, I feel like that is appropriate. Let me see what I had for my anti-TBR. Okay, I literally came up with 2 books. The one I don't even know, oh, I think I just thought it sounded weird. Charles is Mad. House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, though, is the one that I thought of, which is the sequel to Crescent City. And I don't plan on continuing with that series. And the other one is Wake the Bones by Elizabeth Kilcoyne, which I think I just didn't vibe with the synopsis, and that was why I said I'll never read that one. He doesn't bark often, so since he was barking, I had to go and check it out, but he was just barking at nothing, which really doesn't happen very often, but let's get back to it. Favorite Christmas food. Okay, so we were talking about this week. I don't really like turkey that much. I love mashed potatoes, so those are definitely a favorite of mine. But Christmas cookies in general, I love. Like, I love sugar cookies. I just love baking at Christmas. It just makes me feel so festive. I would have to say though, mashed potatoes are probably my favorite. And the other thing that we're talking about is like, there's this Dutch brand, Voortman, and my mom's side of the family is Dutch. So we used to eat these like wreath cookies that you just got them at the grocery store. So it's not that exciting, but they were so good. They were like these red wreath cookies, but I haven't been able to find them anywhere for years. So I don't know if they make them anymore, which that's not fine. That's very sad. What's your 2021 highlight? So I would say like moving, but that wasn't exactly like, that was just a stressful time. Not that it wasn't good, but you know, anyways, my 2021 highlight would definitely have to be shortly after moving into this house, we had all of my family over for Thanksgiving, because in Canada, Thanksgiving is in October. So at the beginning of October, we had everyone over, and that was the first time my whole family has been together since 2019, like Christmas 2019, because of COVID. So I was able to see my sister who lives in California for the first time in almost 2 years. And it was just so nice to like have everyone in one spot and then have them in like what's now my new home. It just made it feel more like home. It was really nice to have it full of people that I love. Like my boyfriend's family was there too. It was such a nice night. And then I also was able to go, like they weren't here for very long, but I went home with them. So I was able to spend some more time with my family, which was really lovely. So that definitely is a 2021 highlight. What is your proudest moment of this past year? Honestly, just getting through it. Like it was such a hard year. I feel like this year challenged me more than any other years have, because I am a person who like lives in my comfort zone, and this year put me so far out of my comfort zone. Like if you had told me even last year or 2 years ago, if you had told me that I was ever going to move to Quebec, I literally would have just died laughing, because I never saw myself moving. I thought that maybe at one point I would move somewhere. I didn't really plan to stay in Windsor my whole life, but I just like never would have expected to do something like move somewhere where I don't speak the language, because that literally is so uncomfortable. And obviously that has been a big challenge for me, but I've been getting through it and like taking it day by day, and some days are better than others. There's highs, there's lows, but I've really been trying to like change what I need to change in order to make this place feel like home, and to be more comfortable, and to be like doing better in terms of my mental health. I've really been working on bettering myself and improving myself and just getting through day by day. So that is something I'm definitely really proud of. Because honestly, there were moments where like it was questionable if I would make it. Like I just felt the lowest that I felt in a really long time, but I just kept going, and I'm proud of myself for continuing to do that. I didn't even think of this because I think it still hasn't set in because I still don't feel adult enough for it, but I'm also really proud of my boyfriend and I for being able to get the house that we got at such a young age. So I am happy about that. What is your top half-baked harvest recipe? So I actually didn't make all that many this year because we ordered a lot of food, and I've just been kind of doing that, so I didn't make a ton of them. One that I did try recently though, I'm just looking on her blog right now, the one that I tried recently I really enjoyed, that was cheesy turkey meatballs, I believe. Why can't I find it? Oh, there we go. Simple baked cheesy Italian chicken meatballs. That was really delicious. I'm not sure what else I have tried from her this year. Honestly, I just like, at the apartment, we also didn't have a dishwasher, so I kept things really simple because I hate doing dishes. So there weren't too many complicated things being made by me. I find with her recipes too, I keep on like going back to my old favorites just because I know they're really good. Not that her recipes have ever really like disappointed me, but I know I'm gonna love them. And I've been turning to like things that I know I'm gonna love this year for obvious reasons. Yeah, I think that's the only like really recipe of her. Oh, I also we tried a feta stuffed crust pizza from her, and it was really good. That I quite enjoyed. It came out very different than it was supposed to because the crust was like way too stuffed, but it was still delicious. So yeah, I would say yes, it's pesto pizza with feta stuffed crust. That was also delicious. But she has honestly so many great recipes, and if you haven't made any yet, you should. They're amazing. Also, she has a new cookbook that's going to be coming out, which is exciting. So I pre-ordered that. What made you the happiest and the saddest this year in relation to reading? So the happiest is that I was able to read so many books. Like, despite everything happening, I still was able to read 83 books, which is a lot considering the fact that I feel like I spent like 4 months or so not reading at all after moving. It was so hard for me to pick up a book and focus on a book. So I'm really happy about that. What has made me the saddest would have to be that there are so many books that like I loved that I didn't get the chance. No, there are so many books that I think I will love that I didn't get the chance to get to yet. And also that I kind of came to the realization that like I don't like series, and that's just the way that I am, which is fine. It's kind of sad. Can you tell more about your Dutch roots, which I mentioned earlier in this video, but sure. So my mom's side of the family is Dutch. Both of her parents were born in the Netherlands, and they immigrated to Canada when so my mom's one of 8. So 4 of her siblings were born in the Netherlands, and then the other 4 were born in Canada once they had immigrated. And my mom's the youngest. So I've actually been to the Netherlands once to visit family, and it was really cool. Like, we were shown like places where my grandma was born and stuff, which is amazing because my grandma died when I was very young, so I don't remember her at all. And my grandpa died before like my parents even met, so I never got the chance to know him. But it was really nice to like see where my family came from, and we were also like watching home videos with my grandma and with my mom as a kid, which was super interesting. So yeah, I don't remember like exactly, well, no, I do know where they're from. They're from Hempstead, I believe. I can't say things very well, but they're from that region, and we still have quite a bit of family living in the Netherlands, and we also have a lot of Dutch family living in Canada. So yeah. Will Charlie be getting a new friend in the new year? Not quite, not yet. I don't think that we'll get another dog for a couple of years. I would love for him to have a friend, but things are just like so crazy and overwhelming right now that I don't think it would be the best idea to bring a new life into our life. So like, we have plenty of time to get our new child, because that's the only child that we'll be having is dogs and cats, but he's happy with Spud, so we're just gonna leave it at that for now. How did your boyfriend name Spud? It's such a cool name. So her name's actually Sputnik, and I don't know if you knew that or you just thought her name was Spud, but her name's Sputnik, and it's actually his sister named her, which he said he thinks she was doing a project at the time on like the satellite, so, which is really funny. Also, sometimes you guys have told me that I pronounce it incorrectly, but like, you can't just tell someone that they pronounce their cat's name incorrectly or like someone's name incorrectly. That's just how I say it. So just is fine. I know it's supposed to be like Sputnik, but like that's not how I say it. So we're just gonna leave it, okay? It's a name because I mean, it's her name now. So I can pronounce it how I want. But we do call her Spud as like a short form. Also, just because, I don't know, I feel like she looks like a little potato, like a little tater tot. So I call her Spud all the time. I mean, we do have nicknames for all the animals. Like Charlie goes by Charles, Sir Charles, the Ween very often. What else do we call you? I don't know. He's a man of many names. He's like Grandpa when he's wearing his cardigan. There's options out there. We never really call them by their real names. How do you find the courage and time to eat well and work out? So like I said earlier, like my mindset on that has really changed this year. And I think a big thing that has changed it is like, I feel like it's this quote that kind of has gone around saying, if you don't show up for yourself, who's going to? Basically, it's just doing it for me. Like no one else is going to do it for me. So I want to make sure that I'm trying to be like the best person that I can possibly be, because like I only have one life. Like it all sounds so corny, but honestly those things have motivated me to try and like improve upon myself and take control of something that I wasn't happy about. So that's really where I have found my like courage and motivation. I know that it's just about me. It's not about anyone else, and it's something that I'm doing for myself. I would say if like courage is an issue, it's good to kind of like not employ someone, but you can, because you can get like a personal trainer. But what I mean is like have someone else there for accountability and tell them, hey, I want to do this. Can you keep me like motivated and encourage me when I might not be feeling it so much? So I think that makes a big difference because there's accountability there. But also if it's like courage in the gym, definitely actually getting like a session or two with a personal trainer is well worth it if you want to get into like weightlifting and heavier weightlifting. So you can make sure you're doing it properly and safely. I think that it's kind of essential if you want to be like doing free weight stuff with like a barbell or whatever, to make sure that you're not going to injure yourself and know how to do like those big compound moves where you potentially could injure yourself. Weird one, but I actually don't think this is a weird one. I think it's a good one. What would you say to 2019 Hailey? So I think I would say you don't know what's coming. Like, I don't know. I feel like in 2019, in some ways, I felt like I was in a better place than where I am in now, which is interesting. So I feel like maybe this will be one for next year. Like, what would I say to myself from last year? Like, because I feel like right now all I can think of is like, girl, things are gonna change, you're gonna go through it again, like yikes. But that's fine. I guess I would say like, we're gonna get through it. Just enjoy the calm while you can. Actually, enjoy things being open while you can, because everything's gonna close and it's gonna be awful. I'm gonna answer one last question. There are so many and I could keep on going on, and you guys asked really good questions, so thank you for that. But the final question that I'm going to answer is, what is one genre you'd like to try more of in the new year? I'd like to try and read some more historical fiction, which I feel like is probably what I said last year too. But I pretty much always, or at least often, love the historical fictions that I read. It's one of my favorite genres, and I really would like to try and read some more of it because I know there's so much more out there. So I definitely want to get to some more of that. Charlie is just like, he has made a den out of my arm right here. He's so happy on my lap. I just had to show you guys that. But that is going to be all for today, Bookmas Day 30. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for asking me questions. I always love chatting with you guys. But don't forget that tomorrow, the final day of Bookmas, Bookmas Day 31, I will be sharing my TBR and resolutions for the coming year. So I hope to see you guys then. Thank you once again so much for watching, and yeah, bye!